Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I help women over 50 manage their health through diet and lifestyle strategies. Today, I want to talk to you about blood sugar swings and how it could be fueling your inflammation. And I thought I would start with a client success story and how she managed it and was able to lower her A1C. So as mentioned in the beginning of the video, I was working with a client and she was struggling with elevated blood sugar. And like many people, she thought medication was going to be her only option. She had been working with her physician. But through changes in her diet and strategic fasting, she was able to bring her blood sugar down significantly. Watching her progress reminded me of something important. Blood sugar doesn't just affect diabetes risk, it can influence energy, hunger, weight, and even inflammation throughout the body. So, I will take you through the steps that she took to help lower her blood sugar and her A1C. So, let's talk about the connection between blood sugar and inflammation, especially as we get older. So, what is a blood sugar swing? Well, blood sugar rises every time we eat, and it's just a normal process in the body. Some foods can make your blood sugar spike more than others. And every time we eat, we trigger insulin. Insulin is a hormone, and it's actually your fat storage hormone, but it actually opens up the cells so they can take in nourishment every time after we eat. Now, if we eat a lot throughout the day, like if we graze and we are snacking all day long, you're going to trigger insulin constantly and it will be present in your system all day long. And it is the fat storage hormone, and we cannot lose weight if we have insulin coursing through our bodies. Carbohydrates influence this more so than protein and fat, although they also can influence it somewhat, especially protein. So eating processed carbohydrates particularly, you think about the commercial that has have a Snickers bar in the afternoon when you hit that slump, when you're basically crashing, um, to boost your blood sugar to make you feel better, to give you energy. It does give you energy, but there's a way to calm that process down and to stabilize your blood sugar so it's on more of an even level. Let's talk about why it matters. Frequent blood sugar spikes can contribute to inflammation. If you're eating frequent meals or eating throughout the day, grazing, you're going to be spiking insulin as well as fat storage, and that can affect your energy, it can affect your cravings, and you will not lose weight in the presence of insulin because remember, it's your fat storage hormone. So you want to give the body a break for more reasons than just insulin, but it's part of something we need to be aware of so that we can stabilize our blood sugar and learn how to do that. Because it will also result in you're going to feel like you're on an energy roller coaster, and that just never feels good. And if you have spikes in your blood sugar and then a crash, you're going to feel like, oh, I need a pick me up. I need to have something to eat. And that is not a healthy cycle to get into. So let me share what I saw with my client. I had met with her for the first time I met with her. We went over what she was eating, what she wanted to do, and that she was very committed to improving things with her diet and her lifestyle. So she kept a food diary, which is very important. She recorded everything she put in her mouth. She would do some meal planning and she stuck to it, which was great. So we helped to adjust her carbohydrate intake and the carbohydrate choices that she was making. So she started choosing whole foods like vegetables and things like that. And she prioritized her protein and her fat intake. So she would say she had a pork chop for her evening meal, she would pair it with salad and a sweet potato or something like that. And it does help that if you're really hungry, one thing you can do is eat your protein foods first to help stabilize your blood sugar before you eat the higher carbohydrate foods. So she would get started in her meal by eating the fattier foods first, and then she'd finish it off eating her vegetables, and she might have some fruit for dessert as well. She also would stretch her uh, meals out so that she would really paying attention to her body and eating only when she was hungry. So it's kind of like no snacking between meals, which I've mentioned in my other videos, or intermittent fasting, which is the buzzword of today. But it's just waiting until you're truly hungry before you have your meal. If this stabilizes blood sugar, it makes you able to go longer between meals. And just remember that hunger is always going to be the best seasoning. Food tastes best when you're hungry. So here are some simple strategies, some takeaways from this video. Prioritize protein and fat, especially from animal sources. Animal sources are going to be your most nutrient dense, highly absorbable foods that you can eat. Um, and there's just science proves that time and again. Build your meals around these nutrient dense whole foods, especially from animal sources. Reduce and maybe eventually eliminate reliance on ultra processed foods or significantly limit them. Of course, nobody should deprive themselves of any of these things, but if you're dealing with reversing a health concern, you might want to give it up for a while. And consider meal timing strategies when appropriate. If you want to have a eating window each day, the 16-8 eating window is a good one. This means 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating, so you could fit two hearty meals within that 8-hour window. But you do what works for you. That's just one example. You can look up intermittent fasting and find all kinds of stuff about that. And then, of course, if you are on glucose lowering medications, please work with your healthcare provider on adjusting those as you fix your diet. That's something that you have to be aware of when you change your diet. It can be done. You can lower the amount of medication you're taking. You can also get off it if you continue to implement these strategies, but you need to be working with your doctor. And just remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's learning how your body responds to food and making gradual changes that support more stable blood sugar levels over time. Thanks again for stopping by today. And if you really like this content, please feel free to subscribe and like, and also ask questions or leave comments because it helps drive my subject matter. I do like to focus around pain and inflammation because that seems to be such a big one as far as what people are dealing with. But I like anything related to nutrition and food and recipes and things like that. And also, I have an Etsy store, so with some handouts that you can, printables, that might be helpful. So feel free to check that out. The link is below. Thank you again.